Alright, this is how you're going to do your foldable. So you have your two pieces of paper that you've gotten, has your terms on one side and your Frayer models on the other. So we're going to work through the first one together. So if you will get yours, and we're going to find the one that says melting. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to put in a definition for melting. And so we all know that melting means that we're going to be changing the substance from some sort of solid form to a liquid form. Alright, so we wrote our definition in. Alright, then we're going to write down some examples. So the most common example that we do is an ice cube melting. So I've written down that an ice cube changes from a solid cube to a puddle. I'm going to write down that an ice cream cone drips from the frozen treat to the liquid. Okay. Alright, so then over here is where you're going to draw a picture. So you can pick one of the things that you've done as your example, or it could be something else. Alright, so I have my picture here, and you can put a little caption if you want to. I have a candle that's melting as it's burning. So there's kind of a third example for us. And then this last box here is for a non-example. So for this, you're going to think of sort of like, what is not an example of melting? So if we're not melting, most of us think about we are freezing. Okay, so freezing is the opposite of going from a solid to a liquid. It is going from a liquid to a solid. Okay, and so you're going to do that for all of these. You have one for freezing, you have one for condensation, you have one for vaporization, you have one for sublimation, and you have one for deposition. Okay, so you're going to write in a definition, two examples, draw a picture, and a non-example, and you're going to do that for each of those. Alright, so once you have all of your Frayer models done, I'm only going to do one just because we were doing one together as an example. You are going to cut them out. So I'm just cutting a little Frayer model box out. And you're going to do that for all 6 that you have. Okay? Alright, so now you have them all cut out, so you have all 6 of these. So you're going to take them and you are going to fold them in half so that you get basically just the word showing. I'm going to continue doing this with all of them. Alright, so once you've folded all of them, remember all of yours are complete already, you're going to take them on a piece of loose leaf. I don't have any loose leaf right here, so I'm just going to use some copy paper that I have. You're going to take the back side, just like we kind of do when we do our catalyst, and we're going to just put glue on that part. We're not gluing the whole box down, just this piece. We're going to put them on our paper. We're going to put them in order, sort of kind of what goes together as we're going up our heating curves. So we start with melting, okay, and then the opposite of that melting was freezing. Then we get the next set of things. Vaporization. The opposite of that being our condensation. And then lastly, sublimation. We're going all the way up the curve, but skipping that liquid state. Solid to a gas, and then down the heating curve, our deposition. Okay, so now you have your foldable, has your terms. When you open up each of them, you're going to have a definition, examples, a picture, and sort of the opposite definition. And while it's on your paper like this, we're going to make it so that maybe for some people who are more visually cued, they're going to be able to maybe associate color choices to it. So we're going to color each of the outsides a color. So I'm going to take my melting, and you can do this with colored pencil. You can do it lightly with some of the lighter color markers. If you have your own things, you can use those. Right now I'm using crayon. And you're going to color the outside flaps. Okay. Remember, I do have some extra supplies over to the sides if you need to get some different color markers, color pencils. There's even some crayons over there. Alright, so once you have them colored, this is going to be your notebook paper, and now you have sort of a little vocabulary checklist where you can open up each of your words and be able to study and see a picture that goes along with it. Okay, so you can make this as simplistic in coloring as you want to. I just chose colors. If you wanted to do something more patterned, that's fine too. You could do it whatever kind of color scheme you want. Okay, so just make sure you've completed all of it, and it's going to go in your notebook for you to have, and I will be checking when we're back together.